The story begins inside a great floating academy that hangs in space above a giant blue planet, a place where many alien species come to learn how the galaxy works and how wars are fought. And the room itself already shows the power and pride of those who believe they are strong, with tall seats, shining walls, and students who have claws, armor, scales, wings, and sharp eyes, all listening to a famous war professor named Kravix, a huge alien covered in scars who has fought many battles and believes strength is the only truth. And as he speaks, his words cut through the room like blades because he teaches that only species born strong deserve to survive, that the weak must hide behind machines and tools. And when his many eyes turn toward the small group of human students, his tone becomes mocking, saying humans have no natural weapons, no thick skin, no claws, and without technology they are useless, which makes many students laugh while the humans feel the familiar weight of being judged. And among them is Mara Hale, a quiet human woman who does not look special at first glance. Not large, not armored, not dangerous. Yet she listens closely, feeling something burn inside her. Not anger but certainty, because she knows this lesson is wrong. And when the laughter fades, she raises her hand, a small simple motion that feels loud in the silent hall, surprising everyone including the professor, who allows her to speak only because he finds the idea amusing. And when she calmly challenges his claim that humans cannot fight without tools, the room fills with shock and laughter again. Because to these beings her words sound like a joke, but Mara does not shout or insult. She simply stands and says theory should match reality. And this calm confidence pushes Kravix to accept a demonstration, not to learn but to humiliate her, and the floor opens into a combat ring as the lights dim, turning a lesson into a test of pride and belief. And when Mara steps into the ring, she feels fear but does not let it rule her. While Kravix towers over her with heavy muscles and 4 powerful arms, certain the fight will end in seconds. And when the signal sounds, he attacks with great force, expecting her to run or fall, but instead she moves forward, using speed, timing, and balance rather than strength, slipping past his blows and using his own weight against him, shocking the audience as the mighty professor stumbles. And as the fight continues, Mara does not try to overpower him but studies him in motion, striking weak points, twisting joints, pressing nerves, showing that knowledge and control can defeat raw power. And with every move, the laughter dies and turns into stunned silence, because what they are seeing breaks everything they believed. And finally, Mara locks Kravix into a hold that leaves him helpless, forcing the great warrior to yield, not through pain alone, but through understanding that he has been beaten fairly. And when the fight ends, the hall explodes with noise while Mara steps back without pride or cruelty, showing that her goal was never to shame him but to reveal the truth. And though Kravix tries to hold on to his old belief by saying one human does not represent all, the moment has already changed the room, because everyone has seen that humans do not need claws or armor to be dangerous, that they use their minds, their adaptability, and their refusal to give up. And as the bell rings and the class ends, the lesson lingers in the air, unseen but powerful, because a simple raised hand has planted doubt in an old belief, and that doubt will soon grow into something far larger than a classroom, something that will reach across the stars and force the galaxy to rethink what true strength really means. The calm of the academy shattered 3 weeks after Mara's demonstration, when sirens screamed and red lights bathed the halls, signaling the arrival of the Vrax Dominion, a ruthless alien empire known for crushing entire planets and enslaving their survivors. And the station, which had seemed untouchable, was suddenly under threat as massive ships darkened the space outside, their weapons opening fire, shaking the floating classrooms, training halls, and laboratories, while students and instructors scrambled to respond. alarms echoing as emergency doors sealed and defense drones launched into the void, trying to intercept the incoming fleet. Yet it quickly became clear that the Vrak's numbers and firepower were overwhelming. Their ships moving with deadly precision, cutting through shields, and sending explosions cascading across the station's exterior, leaving everyone in shock and fear, including humans who had just begun to feel a sense of belonging in this alien-dominated environment. Yet Mara, despite her youth and small frame, felt an inner calm rising, a clarity born from understanding danger and seeing opportunity where others panicked. And she moved swiftly through the chaos to reach the command deck, where Professor Kravex and the senior officers tried to coordinate the station's defense, their normally confident faces tight with worry, knowing that without extraordinary measures, the station could be lost. And Mara spoke up, calmly suggesting that they form strike teams to attack vulnerable points on the Vrak ships, using intelligence gathered from simulations and their own observations, proposing tactics that relied not on raw power but on speed, coordination, and the human capacity to think and adapt in moments of extreme pressure. And though some officers were skeptical, Kravex, though prideful, recognized the merit in her plan, nodding for her to lead, which surprised many, including other humans who had grown up believing they were too small, too weak to influence large-scale combat. And as they prepared, Mara assembled a diverse team of humans, Tith with thick scales, insectoid Kelt with rapid reflexes, and even Kravex himself, creating a unit that relied on the strengths of each member. And soon they were inside a boarding pod, hurtling through space toward the largest Vrak's command ship, while outside the windows, stars twisted as they accelerated past massive fleets of enemy ships, lasers and explosions streaking across the black canvas. And when they entered the Vrak's vessel, the team faced immediate chaos as corridors filled with the alien warriors, blades slashing and fire blazing, forcing Mara to navigate through hallways using agility and strategy rather than strength, guiding her team to strike at weak points, using angles, walls, and movement to counter the overwhelming enemy numbers. And each engagement was tense and brutal, with Kelt firing rapid shots, Tith smashing foes with brute force, and Kravex swinging with terrifying power. Yet Mara's human mind orchestrated the attacks, turning disorganized panic into a precise flow of combat, making the team more than the sum of its parts. And as they reached the command chamber, they confronted the Vrak's leader, a massive armored alien who exuded menace, declaring them prey and expecting submission. But Mara did not hesitate, remembering every moment of being underestimated, every time humans were told they could not survive without tools or weapons. And she drew on that memory, turning fear into determination, using a stolen energy core connected to her wrist to amplify her attack, moving inside the Vrak strikes rather than meeting them head-on, finding gaps in the armor, exploiting every weakness with patience and skill until the leader fell. And at that moment the power in the chamber dimmed, the Vrak ship systems disrupted, and outside, the Vrak's fleet began retreating, shaken by the loss of their commander and the precision of the human-led strike team. And as Mara and the surviving members returned to the station, battered but alive, the Academy itself bore the scars of the battle, halls blackened by blasts, life support struggling in damaged sections. Yet the human victory was undeniable, a moment that proved to all present, aliens and humans alike, that courage, ingenuity, and adaptability could turn the tide against overwhelming odds, and that the seemingly weak species, underestimated for its lack of natural weapons, could lead a strike capable of toppling an enemy thought unstoppable, leaving the station's defenders exhausted but inspired, and setting the stage for the galaxy to reconsider what strength truly meant. not in size or claws or armor, but in the ability to think, adapt, and act decisively under the greatest pressure. A lesson Mara and her team had now taught with blood, sweat, and undeniable courage, forever changing the perception of humans among the stars. After the Vrax fleet retreated and the boarding mission succeeded, the Academy floated in space, damaged but intact, its halls scarred from explosions and fire, and the students, instructors, and staff moved cautiously among the wreckage, checking for survivors, tending the wounded, and restoring vital systems, while Mara, exhausted and bruised, was carried to the medical wing, where she lay on a narrow bed, her arm wrapped, her body aching from the relentless combat. Yet her mind stayed sharp, replaying every move, every decision that had led to victory. And as she rested, Professor Kravix entered quietly, his massive shadow filling the room, and for a long moment he simply stood, observing her, weighing his pride against the undeniable fact that she had led a strike capable of defeating a Vrax command ship. And then, in a gesture that shocked both the humans and the alien staff who witnessed it, he bowed slightly, a symbol of respect and recognition, admitting without words that he had been wrong about human weakness. And Mara, tired but steady, gave a small smile, acknowledging the truth that humans had always known: strength is not only measured in muscle or natural weaponry, but in adaptability, courage, and the willingness to act decisively when the moment demands it. And outside the medical wing, the Academy slowly began to recover. Engineers and alien cadets working side by side to repair the damaged hull, restore shields, and replace critical systems, while officers documented the battle, sending reports across the galaxy of the humans' performance and the unexpected tactics that had turned the tide against the Vrax. And soon word spread beyond the Academy, reaching planets and space stations. News channels broadcasting the story of a human-led team that had struck fear into one of the most feared empires in the galaxy, showing ingenuity, courage, and skill that no one had expected. And governments and military academies began inviting humans to teach strategy and tactics, recognizing that their adaptability and quick thinking were invaluable assets. And within the Academy itself, the atmosphere shifted. Human students who had once felt small and overlooked now walked with quiet confidence, their peers treating them with newfound respect, while Mara became a symbol of what could be achieved when determination met opportunity, inspiring others to see beyond physical limitations and to understand that intelligence, planning, and bravery could outweigh brute force. And as the days passed, memorials were held for those lost in the battle, honoring both humans and alien allies who had given their lives to protect the Academy, while instructors updated training programs to include human-inspired tactics, teaching students to use speed, observation, and precision rather than relying solely on strength. And the Vrax, humbled and surprised by the outcome, reconsidered their assessment of humanity, realizing that underestimating humans could be dangerous. And their retreat marked a turning point in galactic history, where the human species, long dismissed as fragile and weak, began to earn a reputation as clever, resourceful, and unyielding under pressure. A species capable of achieving extraordinary feats against impossible odds. And Mara, though weary, watched the repair crews work and felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that the lesson she had first delivered in a classroom with a single raised hand had expanded far beyond a school, reaching into space itself, changing perceptions and proving that humans, though not the largest or strongest, possessed a strength of spirit and mind that no alien could easily match. And in quiet moments, she reflected on the journey from that first challenge with Kravix to the chaos of the Vrax attack, realizing that every doubt, every insult, and every moment of underestimation had shaped her and her team, forging them into leaders and warriors who relied on thought, creativity, and adaptability as much as on courage. And as the Academy slowly returned to routine, Mara understood that humanity had earned a new place in the galaxy, not by brute force but by proving that intelligence, teamwork, and resilience could turn the tide against even the deadliest enemies, and that future generations of humans would carry forward this lesson, always ready to rise when underestimated, always capable of turning weakness into unexpected strength, leaving a lasting mark on the galaxy and showing that the true measure of a species is not only in what it can destroy, but in how it survives, adapts, and inspires hope even in the darkest moments.